Welcome back to another Punch Plan video. In this video, we're going to be breaking down and recapping the recent FaZe Sensei versus King Kenny fight and discussing whether we think it's a robbery. So this is definitely an interesting fight. It's some pretty good matchmaking. It's a more active guy in King Kenny against a more experienced veteran in FaZe Sensei. And the fight starts off explosive right away as 20 seconds in, FaZe Sensei lands a huge right hand and goes for the kill on Kenny and actually gets a pretty weird standing 8 count right away, which I think it might have been too early for the standing 8 count, but regardless, it happened and he was kind of all over Kenny for quite a bit. I definitely think that first round went to Sensei. You could see he was moving well. Kenny was trying to establish a nice jab and stay long and use an effective game plan, but I think that first round honestly could have been a 10-8 to FaZe Sensei because of the standing 8 count, because of the constant pressure he was putting and the shots he was landing compared to Kenny.
And I definitely think the biggest thing that FaZe Sensei had coming to this fight against Kenny was his ring IQ and experience, as he's had way more fights than Kenny has up to this point and was definitely the more experienced fighter, and we could see that as Sensei was coming in at good openings. However, I feel like a big thing that really hurt Kenny in this entire fight was, yes, he was using his jab nicely and effectively, however, it was never following up with any right hand or any other attack pretty much. I was really just sticking to the jab for the entire fight.
It was his biggest success in the fight. Obviously, he didn't want to really go punch for punch with FaZe Sensei. I feel like, especially on the inside, Sensei definitely had that advantage, and he wanted to just stay on the back foot, counter punch, look for any shots he could get on Sensei, which didn't really happen much, but he had a good jab, and that's what was winning him some rounds. I think the second round could have gone to King Kenny, even though it was pretty close and tough to call. I think King Kenny might have been more active, a bit more fresh, and has just done more in that round.
Yeah, Sensei definitely did a good job parrying, and really it's interesting to see the dynamic of both of these fighters were really kind of countering, and it was kind of a battle of two counter punchers. However, FaZe Sensei also did well to mix it up as well, and he was finding some power shots and some sneaky angles in there to kind of put Kenny off balance, and as well just keep him alert at all times. I feel like that's something Kenny could have attributed better to, and maybe tried finding some different angles would have helped him throughout this fight. And Sensei really showing a good job in there.
Yeah, and then in the third round, you see FaZe Sensei come alive yet again as he has a good couple of blitzes on King Kenny where he's able to get his attention with right hands and combinations, catching him off guard. And you can see the experience starting to show from FaZe Sensei, who's kind of coming in the later rounds. And even the last round, a bit of the same. I feel like FaZe Sensei might have had the better of it. Could have really gone either way to maybe King Kenny or FaZe Sensei. But overall, I think it's hard to give this fight to King Kenny, in my opinion. I think FaZe Sensei landed the more effective shots, even though maybe King Kenny had a higher output. FaZe Sensei was hurting him more. I think for a couple of rounds, he did just the more damage, and I feel like that's what really is the most impactful thing when scoring a round.
However, Sensei really just with the powerful shots that really affected Kenny, and you didn't see those with the shots that Kenny threw towards Sensei. They didn't really impact him the same way. So it was definitely a really good fight to see from the two. However, I do think that FaZe Sensei should have gotten the victory there and proved it.
Yeah, so the judges had, one of them had a draw, and then two of them had it for King Kenny, which I'm personally going to dispute. I think FaZe Sensei definitely had the better, especially the first round. That was probably a 10-8 with the standing 8 count in mind. Obviously, a standing 8 count doesn't necessarily automatically make it a 10-8, but just his domination in that round, I feel like that probably got him the edge. As well as even the last round, I feel like it definitely could have went to FaZe Sensei as he landed some impactful shots, especially a couple of blitzes. I think because this is in the UK, it might be in Kenny's hometown, kind of similar to what we saw against FaZe Temper. It could have possibly been swayed because of the crowd, and this fight could possibly get overturned, but let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below and who you think won this fight between FaZe Sensei and King Kenny. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the content, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to stay updated with everything YouTube boxing.